Hey, welcome everybody. We are back again. Two shows in a row.
Two shows. It feels like this is really the start. Is this actually, Rizzo, the start of our sixth?
No, because I usually do it around when we really started in April or May.
So April. So we're still wrapping up 5.
Yeah. I don't really do a good job of keeping
I was thinking about that. I was like, we need to
of
catalog the
working
shows.
on the thing. Yeah, it's. I mean, we yeah. I think we started in late April or sometime in May. We started shortly after Roy did, so it was. Figure that was what 2020 was it 2020? So yeah, we're like definitely going into our we're definitely going into our 6th year. So
we're going into 6 years of this. 6 years of this.
Hey Jeff, thanks for joining. So today we decided we're going to do, since there's a lot of new good sci-fi out there, we'd cover some of the stuff. Now, Stranger Things, of course, is not a new show, but it just wrapped after a million years.
Unless you believe the conspiracy theory that's going on right now. But anyway,
we'll talk about that. And then the other one is a new one that dropped in the Alien universe, which is Alien Earth was called. It was like that dropped last summer, and then just recently finished up on Christmas Eve, which is on Apple, which is Plur1bus, which is a really interesting show. We're gonna a lot to talk about on that.
I really enjoyed that one.
So if you have not seen any of those shows, there will be spoilers.
Yes, we're about to spoil all 3 of those. So warning.
So yeah, I mean, yeah. So just warning. We'll warn you. But anyway, hey Chris, thanks for joining. Bill, thanks for joining. But I think before we get into that, we have news. All the news all the time.
We have a little bit of news here tonight. News piece number 1. The Batman. That's the one with Robert Pattinson. They are making a sequel. They have snagged both Scarlett Johansson and Sebastian Stan for the sequel. And still Robert Pattinson. He'll still be the Batman. Everyone seemed to like it, so I hope the sequel's good. Whatever. And then another
Batman. Okay.
Yeah.
Like another Spider-Man. Another. Well, they're doing another Avengers because Marvel's trying to recapture that.
Because we
magic
can't have
of the magic of that, but then because everything they've made after the Avengers stuff.
Yeah, exactly. In other casting news, Amazon Prime is going to be doing Tomb Raider. Like, we need more Tomb Raider. They got Sigourney Weaver, Jason Isaacs, and Bill Patterson in that cast. Okay, sure, whatever. All right, news item number 2. The Critics' Choice Awards were Sunday night, and I am cheering for Tramell Tillman. He got Best Supporting for Severance, and Rhea Seehorn, who got Best Actress for Plur1bus, which we will be talking about tonight. I love to see good shows get recognized. Number 3, Avatar, Fire and Ash. That's been out like 3 weeks now. I think it came out sometime mid-December. That thing just passed $1 billion worldwide.
I can't believe people are going to still see those films.
Right? But wait, Rizzo, listen to this. Awful. That puts James Cameron in a club of his own. It's a club of 1. He's the only one in this club. He's the first director in history with 4 billion-dollar films. And the $4 billion films, you're not going to believe which 4 they are. It's Titanic. And then 3 freaking Avatar movies.
Yeah.
They all crossed $1 billion?
Yeah, because really? I hated the first one. And I never even watched anything else. So I was like, I don't know. It's just, I didn't like the first one. I can appreciate the technology that went in, making it.
I know.
But
yeah, the very first one, you look at it the way you looked at Jurassic Park, you're like, damn, that's really good. But then this actual story, you don't care.
The story was terrible. Yeah, and then it just got worse from there.
Anyway, the thing I wanted to say about Fire and Ash is that thing was raking in money until New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, when Netflix, because we're going to talk about this tonight, Stranger Things beat it out because that thing got released in the theaters too. Moving on, number 4, news number 4. I would like your opinion on this, Rizzo. So listen up. Ryan Coogler. Now, Ryan Coogler is the guy that does Black Panther and Wakanda and all that. He's got some really good stuff out there. Ryan Coogler is rebooting the X-Files. And he wants to reboot them the way they were in its first season, episodic, like Monster of the Week. What do you think about that, Rizzo? Will it be successful? Or does it need the long arc? Or can we do Monster of the Week?
First of all, let's go back a little further. Do we really need to reboot the X-Files?
Do we need to reboot it? Did we need to reboot
I
Tomb
don't
Raider?
think
Do
so.
we need to
Well, what was
anything?
that? Late 90s, early two. When did it finally end? In early 2000s? Did it make it even that
No, the
long?
movies
Films
kind of
were, yeah.
lingered, I guess. Yeah.
Well, the original, yeah. So they always had that alien arc though, because that was the whole thing that Mulder's sister
Yes,
was
yes. X-Files did
abducted.
eventually have arcs, but their
But even in
first
the first
season
season,
was
wasn't his whole
real
thing? That's why he
non-spoilery.
was. But his whole thing was his sister was abducted.
Yeah,
That was like that's why he was in that weird. But
that's just the
first of all,
backstory.
I'm a fan of episodic television, maybe because um maybe because that's how I grew up with all these shows that you can kind of drop in at any point. And it didn't really matter. Like you didn't need to see the first three shows
You
before
don't
it. You know what I'm
memorize
saying?
lore.
Yeah. So you
Or
know, so yes, I like the episodic idea. Absolutely. I don't know if it needs to be. I don't know if it's going to work. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. It's all going to come down. I think part of the charm of the X-Files wasn't just the story writing was pretty good. The acting in the first couple seasons was pretty bad. If you actually ask me, I mean, what's her name was not good. She was
got
very
there.
wooden. She was very wooden. I mean, she got better.
She got there. Yeah, Jillian
Got there,
got
but
there.
she was really wooden in being. But I'm just saying, I think there was a chemistry with those two, and I think that's partly what made the
Yes.
show work. So you
Yes.
got to find, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where if you don't have the right formula, so my prediction is they'll make it and it won't go past 2 seasons. Prediction. I'll be like, what was that? The Great Carnot.
Yeah. No, I don't bet there. I think you're right. People that were this article that I read about this, saying which one should you do, they argue that modern shows go right for that long arc because they only have these 8 episode seasons. So like, let's just tell the story, the main story. You know what I mean? So you get a richer lore, like you get a deeper story, but you get less tonal variety. And that's actually, Rizzo, exactly what you were saying. Like when we were criticizing the singing episode of Strange New Worlds, that's tonal variety. That only works when you have 22 seasons. And that goes to the other thing we talked about with Star Trek, is it needs to go
absolutely.
back to 22 episodes.
Yeah, I don't know if they're okay. So everybody does only 10 Well, I guess some of the network stuff is going a little longer, but not much. I mean, I understand why it's happening. It's all about money and how it cost of and the amount of competition. When there was 3 networks, people were going to watch stuff because it was on TV. And they're all there was. So if they only put 10 episodes of something out, people would be like, what the hell? I'm not going to keep, they wouldn't watch. So, but now there's so much competition and production is so expensive. I get it. But yeah, I know what you're saying. The problem is what Discovery ran into was every season was a MacGuffin, especially once they got
every season was a MacGuffin.
And it was like, okay, it's getting a little tired. Even same thing with Walking Dead. It was like, it was some big thing, some big baddie they had to overcome every season. And it just got tiring. So that's why I say I like episodic. And I think they were on the right track, like the first couple, like the first season of particularly Stranger Worlds. It looked like okay, and then they had to do all that Gorn stuff, and they ruined it.
And they ruined it
because like the first 3 episodes, I'm like, okay, this could be good. This might, they might do something, and it's just, in my opinion.
Yeah, man, I don't know.
Well, anyway, I don't want to spend all night on that. But yeah,
Ryan Coogler. I wish him luck. I don't know if this is going to take off. I'd be very curious to see who they cast. I miss Mulder and Scully. I rather enjoyed the X-Files.
No, the X-Files were good, but they had their day. How about, again, let's get with something original.
But you know what else was episodic for a long time and worked? Supernatural. That thing worked for a long time. And then they got arcs.
Of course, that was also syndicated.
They got arcs.
That was a syndicated show. It's a little different.
Yeah. Fringe started out in the very, very beginning. It started a little episodic, and then they got their arcs going. Like everyone kind of starts the same way, like a little.
Well, they kind of have to, because if they start, I guess it depends on the show, but most of them have to kind of start out that way to establish, especially if it's a new universe you're building.
Actually, Buffy might have been the first one.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know.
Anyway, what else you got? Moving on.
Number 1, and this kind of ties in. Number 1, Rizzo, you were kind enough to send me a new trailer, which I'd already seen. For Star Trek, and I can't have for the specifically Starfleet Academy, the new
Starfleet
show.
Academy, which is
and I
dropped
couldn't help but
next
hear
week,
some
right?
familiar voices. Rizzo, I heard some familiar
A week
voices.
from tomorrow, it drops.
What do you think about them using those clips?
I was really almost offended by that trailer.
So was I. I was like, how
I
dare
mean,
you?
You don't get to use Cisco, you don't get to use Spock, and you don't.
Dare you? Kirk, Spock, Worf. I think I heard
Worf was in there. Yeah. There was Picard was in there.
Picard
all the biggies, pretty much all the biggies were. I didn't quite catch
you know what that is.
Was.
That's Paramount realizing that they're losing us and they're desperate.
Exactly.
That reeks of desperation.
Again, here's my next prediction. Starfleet Academy won't go past 2 seasons. If it gets a second season, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, I agree. And then you know what? I think that's going to be it for Star Trek for a long time.
I think we talked about this in our idea that maybe Paramount is purposely trying to tank its own.
I think they're trying to tank it for reasons. But
it's just the whole thing. Just first of all, it's a show nobody wanted. Nobody asked for this. Second of all, you decided to put it in the Discovery universe, which of course is Kurtzman's baby, I guess. And again, it's a very limited. I think one of the YouTubers was put on and say they had it pretty good. It goes, it's a show for Star Trek for people who don't know Star Trek. How did they put it? It was made by people who don't know Star Trek for people who don't know Star Trek.
Don't know Star Trek. Yeah. It was AI's idea of what Star Trek should be.
Like, yeah, it's like it's true. It doesn't, that whole Discovery universe is just not.
I'm just looking in the comments. Anybody else have any of you? I have the link. Where's the link? I'll put the link in the chat if you guys want to listen to this trailer. And I would love to hear what you guys think. Should they have used those voices? Did I put the link in?
I mean, it's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm being a cranky old man, and I know that I'm that way, but I am a cranky old man.
You're not wrong.
But I was just like, I was kind of offended. Like no, you can't attach the greats to this piece of garbage. And I'm sorry, I really hate to be negative about something that I haven't even seen. I know a lot of people that would say, you haven't even seen it. How do you know it's crap? And I'm like, well, first of all, their track record up to this point has not been stellar. No pun intended. And just from the trailers and everything, it doesn't look like. It looks like 90210 in space.
90210, yeah. Guys, see, somebody tell me if that link works.
That's the one I sent. Yeah,
I believe it is. Yeah, but I didn't copy the whole thing. Does that link work, or is it anyway? Later, I would like to hear from you guys. What do you think? Should they have used those voices or not? I say no. I say no, but hey, you know what? It is what it is. All right, that's all I have for news. Rizzo, are we drinking something tonight while we reminisce?
I was trying to find something but I couldn't find anything that would kind of cover all three. So I went with the Plur1bus thing, and it's actually called Plur1bus.
Excellent choice.
Unum, which you guys know is on our, at least in the US, on our money, which actually means from many to one, basically. I don't know if you know, the guys know the history of why that's on our money, but it's the original 13 colonies.
Yeah.
They were talking about becoming one country from many states. So that's where we got that. And of course, then they changed it to In God We Trust in the 50s. So same time they changed the Pledge of Allegiance with the In God We Trust bit. Or under God, I should say. Anyway, regardless, that's what it is. So this one looks pretty good. Actually, bourbon, Grand Marnier.
I like bourbon and Grand Marnier.
Chocolate bitter, some other bitters. Yeah, it looks actually pretty good. So
that does look good, and I love the smiley face. Jeff and Chris and Bill are agreeing with us. Guys, don't agree with us just because we're saying that. I want to hear honestly what you think. If you heard those voices and felt warm and fuzzy, tell me that. I want to know. Maybe I'm missing something. You can coach me. I'm educable.
I think this one says it all. There you go.
Yeah, I gotta say I agree with that one. I agree with that one. I think it sounds desperate.
I think it was desperate. I think it was reaching. They're trying to rest on laurels that they didn't. That this current
rest on laurels that they didn't earn.
production team didn't earn.
Chris, show me the money. like
Yeah.
they're
I just the Kurtzman era of Star Trek is going to go down in history as like the dark era. We had the golden years in the 90s, and now we have the dark era.
Deep Space Nine and maybe a little Voyager was beautiful.
Even people are coming around to Enterprise now, which got so much, like all the new ones always seem to get
back
crap.
in the day.
The whole Enterprise got so much crap, and now people are like, "Oh my god, I wish we had Enterprise."
Now you look back at it, and comparatively, it's still Star Trek.
And people are people that are watching. I've always been a fan of it, but people are coming back like, it really wasn't that. They're like, it was some good. Something like it was when you compare it to the crap today, it was really good.
The only thing we've had two shining moments: Lower Decks and Picard season.
Yeah, 3. Lower Decks and Picard season 3 are like their own separate. That they get
looked and I will felt say that. Like Star Trek.
Yes. There's, by the way, there's a whole. I was able to buy them all at a discount from for Kindle. Is the Lower Decks comic books?
Oh, good. Oh,
there's like a whole. There's like 8 or 10 of them. So if anybody's interested, just go to Amazon, and you can buy them all. You can buy them all for Kindle, like in one big, just a bundle, and just
in a bunch. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like $23 for all of them,
mythology.
Or something like that. Anyway, so all right, so I think we'll start with Stranger Things since that's the oldest of the things. Yeah, so we'll start. This was season 5. Now, I hope if you guys, this has been going on. When did we say it started?
10 years ago, legit, like 10 years.
Yeah, ago. It was like 2015. I think is when it originally aired, the first season, and of course these kids now are in college. They're practically having kids of their own. In fact, Mimi over there actually is married and adopted her own child. So
yeah,
did. So we've talked about this before. I mean, what did you think of you? I assume you've watched.
Yes, I have now seen the finale.
So what did you think? This is where the spoilers are coming in, folks. So if you haven't watched,
so you have not seen the finale yet, so maybe don't watch this part. All right, I was completely okay with it. I had no major, like, here's the thing. After I kind of went down, have you heard of Conformity Gate?
This sounds familiar, but
it's a Stranger Things conspiracy theory. They think people pointed out a million plots in the whole, like a million holes in the plot, not plots in the hole, holes in the plot. And they go, I think there's another episode dropping tonight. I don't think there's another episode dropping tonight. But there's people out there who are leaning heavily into this. There were a lot of
no, wait a minute. What are they plot holes do they think that were left that needed wrapping up that they didn't wrap up?
They showed that thing that they used, the dial with the electricity. One time it was red, another time it was gray. There's a million little things like this. Will saying when he was having his confession scene, he's like, we'd love to go get milkshakes at whatever, the general store. They never got milkshakes at the general store. Vecna, because he's older, he's from the 50s. He would have gotten milkshakes. So they're pointing to all these little tiny, not continuity, I guess like continuity errors or something, and going, all of this, the entire last episode is an illusion that Vecna's projecting. It's not real. None of it's real. Like the way
I think that is fans grasping at straws.
Fans maybe grasping at straws
to potentially continue.
But it wasn't just that. It was also the way Netflix registered the episodes. Like there's a process when they actually get the episode and they register it to play. Like there's all the behind the scenes crap. That wasn't done the way the other seasons were done. So that everyone's like, oh, like they found a bunch of things. I think it's a series of coincidences. I don't think another episode's going to drop tonight. It'd be cool if it did, because then the Duffer Brothers would have put one over on all of us, but I don't think it. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The actual show, I'm 100% okay with it. I thought it wrapped up really well. Everyone's story ended. It
took me a while to kind of get back into it, obviously, because it had been off the air for, 2-3 years? It seemed like forever.
Like 2 writers' strikes, I think it was off the air.
Yeah, it was off the air for quite a while. So I lost interest in it, quite frankly. So I was like, okay, Vecna again, Vecna, whatever, yeah. And it got to the point like you had to kind of like, okay, I got to remember all these little things that happened in previous seasons. because they brought a lot of it into the final season. And it was all well and good. I thought there was a little bit too many what I'm starting to call soliloquies in the show. The whole Will's whole confession about basically being gay was completely irrelevant.
There's that one in a long time. The one with Max.
Well, but it was irrelevant to the story. It was not necessary. Why was it there?
Will or Max and
Will's whole "I'm gay" speech.
No. It wasn't. It wasn't necessary. If you don't get that, then you don't get it. But no. The one that
I guess I didn't get it because
roasted was Max and Holly. Like the memes out there of people making videos of themselves screaming at their TVs. Run!
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And you know what? That happens in every show. They have time to discuss things.
They had a whole.
Meanwhile, the world is blowing up around them.
One guy's like, I have gotten 6 Amazon deliveries since these two girls started talking. Oh my God! They just everyone.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I was saying the same thing. I'm like, geez, what do you take your? Why don't you run through the portal and then have your conversation?
And then have the conversation on the other side. But then Holly didn't go to the other side. But that's Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff like that was aggravating. But I'm saying there was a lot of, and it's not just this show. A lot of shows they go into these long dialogue and it's nothing happens.
Right
and it's
in the middle of heavy action or right prior to heavy action.
And what other show? What other Star Trek show used to do that all the time?
Oh,
Disco. They'd start talking about their feelings.
What are you kids learning in writer's class? That is not the moment to do the heartfelt scene. You do that after the action.
I don't know. That was the other thing I thought was cracking up. I'm watching it, and I checked the time at one point because I know it's 2 hours, and it's like the whole show's wrapping up, like that big ending with Elle, dying or allegedly dying, and you're like, there's still a half an hour left in this show. Now I know they're gonna have 10 minutes of credits because that's everything now has 10 minutes of credits.
But
I'm still like, that's a lot of time. And that's what I'm saying. Then they had the graduation, and then they had the big speeches and the.
Okay, wait, tiny thing. They were class of '89, and I'm representing also as a class of '89 member, and I thought that was pretty awesome. But anyway, yes,
already in college
it was a long epilogue showing what they all went off to do.
Because I kept waiting for somehow, Elle to pop up. That she really wasn't dead.
Did, like in Iceland or somewhere.
Yeah, well, that was his theory. We don't know if that's true. That was just his dream of what happened to her. He didn't.
I think
he said he's like, this is what I believe happened to make himself feel better, but he doesn't know that for a fact. Now, of course, most fans are going to say,
doesn't. But the Duffer Brothers kind of confirmed it. So yeah, she's alive.
My guess is it is true. Otherwise, they wouldn't have bothered with so much effort to.
I think they had to make it true because that sets them up if they ever want to bring it back. And
right, if they want to bring her back, yeah.
They have to. You can't kill off your cash
cow. That was the other irritating. I was going to keep it out of time because I don't want to leave time for the other shows. That was one irritating thing. I didn't think the Colonel there,
Okay, Linda Hamilton.
Linda Hamilton's character got her comeuppance at all. I wanted to see her.
She got nothing.
I really wanted to see. She got stabbed. That was about it. But I really wanted to see her pay for her evilness.
No, we're done. But to me, the way they left it completely screams, we're going to bring this back someday. Just you watch us.
Yeah, I'm sure they left the door open on purpose. So anyway, all right, enough about that because we got 2 other shows to talk about. The next one I want to do is Alien Earth. I'm only Plur1bus for last.
All right, here's the thing.
So Alien Earth obviously is out of the Alien universe. It takes place around the similar time that the original movie is supposed to take place. Of course, they're out
a hair before that.
A hair before it. But roughly pretty close. Not like the other movies that are like 100 years past or whatever. So the basic thing is that there's a company. The world is basically run by corporations, and it's like four large corporations. Weyland-Yutani being one of them, and this other one, and I forget the name. What the hell it was? It had a simple name.
Is it early? It's early enough that Weyland and Yutani are not Weyland-Yutani yet. I think.
No, they're Weyland-Yutani.
Oh, is it
yeah, she kept calling it Yutani. Yeah, it's still. I think they're combined. Because anyway, regardless, the point is that the world is pretty much run by corporations. There's governments don't really exist anymore. And so there's one where Yutani has gotten samples of all kinds of dangerous creatures and is bringing them back to Earth for some godly insane reason. And the ship crashes, and of course, aliens start escaping.
And aliens escape.
Aside on top of this, there's another corporation, and what the heck was his name? He had it's like one. I can't think of the name of the guy's corporate. Somebody will maybe in the chat will remember the name of the little genius guy, and he's working on putting people's consciousnesses into the androids, like
he's
Ash
creating
was.
Ash and
so he's done it. He's found that kids were the best option. So he had these terminal kids. At least they used kids that were terminal.
It's still pretty unethical, but all right.
It's still unethical, but I guess he told them, it wasn't like he lied to them what they were going to do. They were pretty open. So it does work.
So we're saving you.
Yeah. So he puts this conscious of this one girl in, and she goes by Wendy because he has this whole Peter Pan kind of because they call the island, didn't they call it whatever the island was in Peter Pan? Neverwhere or something.
Neverland or
Neverland or something. So anyway, and you get this whole thing where they rescue the people on this crash ship, and of course they try to capture. Of course, he gets all the aliens, and he has them now, and not Weyland-Yutani. So here's what I mean. I'm not going to go through the whole plot line, but things that I thought they did good. They got when they were on the ships. They got the look of what it looked like from the 79 Alien movie.
It could have been inserted into the movie.
Right. It would have been good. Those were the best episodes when we kind of flash back to why the ship, because the ship crashes right at the beginning. But then we don't really know why it's crashing. And then they have flashback episodes and it kind of fills you in on what's going on. So those scenes, they could have, you're right. They could have pulled those right out of 79 and they would have looked, or put them into 79 and they would have looked, I mean, even down to the computer screens where they were so dated by today's standards, but they still kept that, where it's just a green text and you hear that kind of teletype.
Yeah. And they had Mother.
They had Mother, which was that basically the computer. So they did a really excellent job, I thought, production wise on that. And I thought the show was okay. I liked it, but towards the end, when Wendy started communing with the xenomorph, and the xenomorph basically became a dog. I don't want to see the xenomorph in daylight. I think that was a huge mistake.
That xenomorph does not look like other xenomorphs. That thing looks different.
Well, here's the thing: if you know some of the lore, xenomorphs will take on DNA of whatever it's using as a host. So it will sometimes. That's why if you look at the Alien versus Predator, there's a xenomorph that sort of looks as Predator. So that's why that's why they could explain it. It's just different DNA. But I think it takes away the terror and some of the suspense of the xenomorph when you see it in the daylight and acting like a puppy. Like she has control of it. Well, she has control of it in the sense that she's telling it what to do and it's following her command.
She does seem to be able to communicate with it. I don't know that she has full control over this thing. I think it can turn on her any minute. Well, it's like having it's like having a pet tiger. The tiger could turn on you any second. This show, I liked it. This show got bad reviews. People dumped all over it, and I was okay with it. It was suspenseful. I
think from an entertainment standpoint, it was good.
I think story-wise, it too far from the original lore. It seemed to weave things in.
I think we had talked. Yeah, I think we had talked about. My theory was that when Weyland-Yutani lost the xenomorph to the other company, that's when I would love to have seen this. I think it would be great if they do this maybe in season 2. Is they're contacting the Nostromo to land back on LV-246, whatever it was, to go get another one. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they ended up going. Because the first was a science vessel. They sent there and they had stuff. They knew what they were getting into. So they had containment, all that stuff. But I think that would be a nice little. I think that'd be a cool twist to say that's okay. So we need another one. So hey, we have one of our freighters is really close. Why don't we just divert them and make them get it?
And that is almost the vibe of the original movie. Like, hey, go.
Yeah. Bill, Jeff saying you liked Romulus. I didn't see Romulus. I meant to keep meaning to watch it.
I feel like I didn't, and it didn't impact me. Like it didn't. Like Prometheus impacted me because I didn't like it. Romulus
no, Prometheus was not good.
I love it or hate it. It just was like, okay, whatever.
It just shows you that Ridley Scott doesn't have the golden touch because he directed that one, and everybody's like, "Oh, Ridley Scott's gonna be great," and it's like, no.
Yeah, I'm almost certain we watched it at home and I was on my phone. If I look down and start playing my phone in the middle of a show, it does not have my attention. That's a bad sign.
I do that all the time. Let me see if there's anything.
That's a bad sign for the
show. I do that too. So that's the thing with the show. So overall, I don't think it. Like I agree with you. I didn't love it, but I'll probably watch season. I liked it enough that I'll watch season 2. Yeah, but I just felt like towards the end, I don't know. I was just getting a little like, come on.
Yeah, and I need to see where they were going because my impression. So we don't know. We actually didn't know. So I probably had the wrong impression when we watched the original movie. My impression was that there were none of these things on Earth. We didn't think there was anything of the. So I'm wondering.
Of course, they wouldn't know. They wouldn't know ahead of time because remember, it took them. They're like it takes them years and years and years to travel. So it's not like they're there in 10 minutes. So they may not. Yeah. Same thing with messages. They must have found a way to. I don't know. Get transmission faster, I guess. But
Mother seems to be able to.
Yeah, no. Of course, Mother was the one that knew what was going on.
She seems like a higher technology than the rest of the ship. You know what I mean?
Well, I think she's the main computer. It's just that she's also like AI.
She's their AI, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think she's like a separate from the main computer. Like, remember in the original movie, we didn't know Ash was an android until they basically tried to kill him.
Yeah.
Or till he got attacked, and then the same thing when that's the things. So of course. But that was when again you have a show with Timothy Oliphant on it, which always good. I had yet to see a show where it's just really bad that he's in. He just he plays a good character, and I was trying to figure out what his end game was.
And kind of
he was doing some weird stuff too.
With it to him and the other guy were like face to face, and it was like a showdown with them, and then they were like. Fight. Yeah, that was
the one.
That part
he was now. So that I can't remember Timothy's character's name, but he was a full synthetic being, and the other guy was like a cyborg. Like
that's right. Everyone thought it was the guy that's like basically Elon Musk. But I don't remember his name. They all thought, that's his dad. He put his dad into a body, but I don't think it turned out to be that. But this is one of those shows that like if you enjoy the breaking down videos on YouTube, like if you watch New Rock Stars, Emergency Awesome, Heavy Spoilers, or Screen Crush, or any of those guys, Brain Pilot, Pete Peppers, like any of those guys, Watch Mojo. If you like those, they were rife with theories, and they we think it's this, we think it's, and that you know what? That's like half the fun of some of this stuff, and some of the pluribus theories are crazy too. Yeah, people were just like, well, I think it's this, and I think it's this, and I think that's his dad. And I think it did turn out to be his dad, didn't it? Or did it turn out to be his dad? I don't remember. It's already been a hot minute since I've seen that show.
Yeah. There's so Jeff saying he hated that they retcon. I don't know if they really were retconning there. We don't really know what Weyland Yutani knew. We knew that they sent the Nostromo there on purpose, knowing there was something down there. At least, at a minimum.
When you kind of factor in in the next movies, we got Paul Reiser, his character, they were so hot to retrieve it. That kind of makes me feel like, okay, yeah, maybe they did know. You know what I mean?
They knew because at that point they knew because they had already set up the colony there, remember?
Yeah, they had already set up the colony,
and they knew the colony went dark, and they knew what they were sending those people into.
Yeah, they knew that they were there
because they were like, well, think about it. It was going to be they were looking at it from a bioweapon, an animal, acid for blood, and all this other stuff, and the way it could just kill people is just so easily. I mean, come on, they were like, want to tame that?
Yeah, there's a whole conversation. Wait, is the beginning of the original film? No, it's the beginning of the second film. There's a whole conversation between suits at the Wayland town. Like they're talking about, and that kind of sets it up. Like, yeah, you get, they never outrightly say it, but you get the vibe. Like
Yeah, no, there's clearly that they just want a sample, a xenomorph sample, so they can try to
also
recreate it.
Alien Earth, you guys. It's not just xenomorphs. They've introduced a few other strange.
Yeah, there's some other good aliens that they did. The eyeball
including
thing.
This little octopod, octo-eye, ocular, octo, whatever the hell it is, which freak you out.
It is, and it's like the most intelligent of all of them. It's the one that's the least animal-like, because you could tell it's intelligent.
When it was in the sheep,
what it does, for those who haven't seen it, it kills the person that it
implants itself,
removes one of their eyes and becomes one of their eyes, and then controls the body. And apparently, you can do it with someone who's been dead for a while.
Yeah. That was freaky. There's a couple other new creepy crawlers and stuff like that, but that thing, every time it was on screen, I just was like, ugh.
Yeah, it was freaky. It was freaky, and so freaky it was good.
So freaky it was good. All right, man.
So, all right. Do we any more thoughts on Alien Earth? I mean, if
you're into the franchise, I think it's worth a watch.
Yeah, it's worth watching, especially it is on FX / Hulu. It's on FX / Hulu. So now you can watch it on Hulu now. Obviously, it's not on FX because that's live TV, but it's on Hulu. So it's on Hulu. You can watch it there. Stranger Things, of course, was Netflix. So yeah, I mean, it's worth watching. It's already greenlit for the season 2. They're probably already making it. So we'll see. I'll watch season 2.
Yeah, and they're making it in London. That one was shot in Thailand, and you could tell that they were in an exotic jungle.
Yeah.
But the next season's being shot in London, so we'll see how it changes.
We'll see what happens. Yeah. So, all right. So moving on to Plur1bus. This is an Apple TV show. Apple is really knocking them out of the park.
Killing it
with their sci-fi. Even their regular dramas are really good. There's a lot of good stuff on Apple. So this one, and I'm not giving any spoiler away because it happens in the first 20 minutes of the first episode, is basically they receive a signal from space. They figure out it's some kind of RNA sequence. They recreate this thing, and of course, being stupid humans, it gets out, and basically it starts infecting everybody. And what it does is creating a hive mind.
Yeah, I have a question.
So that everybody that's the name Plur1bus, which basically means many. And if you notice, the I in Plur1bus is a 1. So many to 1. So basically, you have the things go very quickly. The entire Earth is infected very quickly within days. So like just about almost the entire population is now in this hive mind, except for 12 people they said.
12 people.
With our main character being Carol Stuka, who is one person who is not affected, and of course, and she is freaked out. Look, it's a Gillian. What's his name? Gilliman, the guy that Gillian. It's
Vince Gillian.
Vince Gillian. Again, it takes place now. Vince Gillian did Breaking Bad, and he also did Better Call Saul. Both took place in Albuquerque, and guess where she is? In Albuquerque. Now, there's a reason. There's the simple reason for that is when I heard, I did some research. Is just because he had done the other 2 shows, so he had spent like over 20 years shooting in Albuquerque. He was used to the crews that he could get there, and it was cheaper than shooting in California.
I bet
he had no other tie to Albuquerque than that. He was just used to. He had new people by then, and it was just an easier place to shoot. So it takes place in Albuquerque for the most part. And of course, she's freaking out. And then the thing is that the thing is with these people is they can't harm anything. They can't lie. And they can't harm anything as so much as pick an apple off of a tree.
They won't even pick an apple, which means they're condemning themselves to death.
Yeah, and so I think here's, if you really want to get into theories, this is the theory, and it's kind of the obvious theory in my opinion, is that the aliens sent the signal knowing this would happen. And the human race basically kills itself by starving itself to death because it can't maintain millions of people.
Our wonderful
To
planet.
the point where they get to one person left on Earth, and they have the entire knowledge of the entire race because they all know everything that everybody else knows.
And it becomes the inner light.
And one person could survive on canned food that would be found around the planet forever, for their lifetime and everything like that. And so the theory also is that it's the alien race, not necessarily to take over the Earth, but it's almost like a what was the movie from the 50s?
Soylent Green. Oh,
no, that was 70s. The one where with Gore.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
The day the Earth stood still, where he comes down and says, "Look, you've invented nuclear weapons. You're very dangerous people. So you either go under our rule or we destroy you." So this is the theory: is that these aliens are just basically, these are dangerous creatures. We're just going to
let's neutralize them.
Let's just neutralize them.
That is a good theory. There's a lot of little tiny details that people pick up on and have all these theories. One theory is it came from like Kepler or whatever, and they think that wasn't the origin. It may have come to Kepler from somewhere else.
Well,
and then they pay it forward
because the other thing that the hive mind is doing is that they are building a large transmitter to transmit the signal back out into space. The same.
So they're going to send this off somewhere else. I have a question. I want to hear your opinion. I think this is a plot hole, but maybe it's not. When we first got the signal and the scientists decode it, they are, of course, experimenting on rats, as they do. And the rat bites the worker and it's off and running. When they made when they gave the virus to the rat, did that make all the rats hive mind?
No, it doesn't affect animals.
It doesn't affect
It only affected humans. It didn't affect the animals. That's why the animals were just wandering around. The animals were It didn't affect. That's why I think they were testing it. They didn't know what it did, because that's why it wasn't. They're testing on rats, and they're like, it doesn't do anything.
Doesn't seem to be doing anything.
Yeah. So
which is kind of cool because some animals have been domesticated and need humans, and now these humans.
So here's another interesting thing. This thing was definitely connected to one of the original Twilight Zone episodes. Season, and it was basically the main character in that episode was, his last name was Sturka, same as Carol's. So they put it, there's a definite, it's an episode where it's a very Earth-like planet, almost identical, except there's going to be a world, a nuclear war. And these two guys and their families steal a spaceship, which is exactly the same one they used in Forbidden Planet, to escape to Earth. So the theory goes is that they're the people that they got to the Earth, and they figured out there was one screw up in the Twilight Zone because they said it was only 11 million miles, which wouldn't even get you to Venus. But that it would, from Kepler, that's the planet that they were coming from. To get to Earth was this. These people figured it out, and it would have been, so they would have gotten to the Earth at like 1400s or something by the way they figured out.
Yes, and then
so that Carol is a direct descendant of one of these people, and that's why she's not affected, because
I've seen that theory. It's
an interesting theory, but it's clearly connected to that episode because of the name, and there's too many things that are.
Yeah, there were some other details that connected.
Definitely, he took that into account when he wrote it, and so that's why. Yeah, so here we are, 600 years later, and the DNA has been kind of diluted throughout humanity, but hers and those other 12 people. So I really, it does show, if you haven't seen it, I really, really do recommend it. It pulls you in, like, after, like, the first episode, you're going like,
it's a thinker.
But you start to want to know what happens.
Yeah, you want to know what happens. And they're weird. They're like, they can't refuse her any of her, well, they can refuse it, but no, they don't refuse her any of her requests. She's like, so if I ask for an atom bomb, you give me an atom bomb? And they're like, yeah.
They hesitated, but they're like, do you want an atom bomb?
Do you want an atom bomb?
Yeah, that's the thing.
And you just don't know what their end game is. You can't figure it out because they're gonna die.
Well, clearly, so clearly they're lying, even though they said they don't, because they're clearly lying to her.
But they're lying
because they were saying, because she specifically asked in an earlier episode, again, spoilers, guys. She's like, what about she's like, well, we released all the animals, and domesticated, and the ones that were in zoo, we released them. We can't harm anything living. And she's like, well, what about like people's pets? You know, she's like, well, if a pet refused to leave its owner, we took care of it. We allowed it. And then in the was it the last episode? I think we see one of the there was a little girl in like she's like down in South Argentina or something.
Paraguay.
Yeah, Paraguay is where the other guy's from.
Paraguay's where
so I think this definitely from her dress. I think she was from Argentina. Anyway, regardless, she's out in like a little village in the mountains, and she's one of the ones that's not affected. And of course, all the people in the village are. She agrees to be turned because to turn them, they need to take what do they call it? Cells that are unassigned. What I forgot they call stem cells out of your hip bone or something, which is painful, and they won't do it if you don't agree to it because they don't want to harm you. So she eventually agrees because she wants to be with her family. She's holding this goat, petting this goat. You can tell she loves this little baby goat. And then the guy shows up with the vaccine, if you want to call it that. And of course she turns, and just as soon as she turns, they all get up and they just leave this village because the only reason the village was there for her. And they go, she opens the gate and lets the animals out. And then this little goat comes running after her, and she just ignores it and keeps walking. So bullshit on you care for the animals that were trying to.
What it was is there was a dog when she went to see where they were all sleeping together, like in the centrum, whatever. They were all sleeping together, and there was a dog, and she's like, "Oh, what's this dog? You're not going to eat the dog or whatever." And he's like, "Oh no, that dog's attached to this, this entity that was Joe Smith or whatever."
Yeah.
And so that's when we get that idea, and then you see her walk away from that goat. It's just. I don't know, man. They're
clearly so yeah, they're clear. It's a very thing. We don't know what's going to happen. Towards the end of Carol, the main character, starts to kind of come around and starts to hang out with one of the other people that they've kind of assigned to her, obviously trying to get her emotionally involved with this woman, which she does. And then they basically found out because if they could come up with a way to turn her without her permission, in other words, without harming her, they want to. And of course, they find out that she had frozen eggs for in vitro fertilization, and that's how they're going to do it. She eventually and she's like, yeah, you only have a couple months, maybe. So the next thing and the very end of the season, again, lots of spoilers, is the helicopter flying into her driveway, dropping off this giant steel case, and it's an atom bomb.
She says it's an atom bomb.
She's now back on track. The whole first half, she was trying to figure out a way to get Earth, to reverse this thing. And then none of the other people seem to give a crap. The other 12,
no, they
except
don't care.
one
they all
guy.
Want to return.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they want to be, but they just.
I don't think the one.
Like the one Indian woman, like she cared. All she gave a crap about was her son. The one guy was taking advantage of it. The other Indian looking guy, he was like thought he was James Bond. Like they all meet at this airport. And he shows up on Air Force One. Yeah. He's just like, and he has all these beautiful women following him around. Because they'll give him anything, and I mean anything they want.
Yeah. So we leave off season 1 wondering, A, what's the hive mind's end game, and B, what's Carol gonna do to stop?
What's Carol gonna do? Now there's a guy from there's another guy. Right. There's another guy from Paraguay who is not he's not turned, obviously, and he thinks he believes that all these people are actually dead because he is kind of religious, and he feels all their souls are corrupted. So that to him they're all dead. But he was playing around with the radio, shortwave radio, and he found a frequency that seemed to bother them, when it played that on the radio. So he's onto something, because they did admit, because they can't lie, when she said, "Is there a way we can reverse this?" And they're like, the fact that you wouldn't even answer me tells me there was.
Yeah.
So
they wouldn't say yes, but they wouldn't say no. Yeah.
Yeah. So she knows there's a way to turn this around. Now, I don't know if it's that broadcast. He was trying with it. That's the other thing, is these people go catatonic whenever they are faced with violent,
and
strong negative emotions.
Seem to factor in. Yeah. Carol accidentally kills millions of them because she gets angry about something.
Yeah, and she didn't know that because they went catatonic, and if they were flying a plane or driving a car. But she also she killed 11 million with that one thing, but
Yes.
they killed she said how many she asked them how many people did you kill when the virus either because when they turn they kind of go catatonic for a little bit
And then
before they wake
you
back
wake up.
up.
Hopefully you wake up.
But she said like 85 million or something like that died initially.
Some big number,
Something,
800
she's
million.
like, well, I got to break a few eggs, I guess,
Yeah,
like
they don't care.
I thought one of the highlights though was the John Cena scene where she
Yeah.
figures out because what happened is because they can't eat, they can't kill anything. They're basically
They're
recycling
always
human
drinking milk,
bodies
right?
into a liquid that they can
Yeah,
drink for
that
sustenance.
they can drink.
So they're doing that. So that's why she thought she had come up with this big revelation. They're like, oh yeah, and it's always in milk cartons. Remember the little ones you used to get as a kid, little milk cartons. So, but he comes on to explain it to her like it's not that big a deal. We're just
we're just slowly ingredient the dead bodies. It's
basically, but it was just John Cena comes on, and it was just I thought it was really funny.
There are others. If you go on YouTube, there are other celebrities that have done. Oh, Carol, that kind of thing. The other really funny running gag that they did every time, it wasn't a gag, it was actually their voicemail. Her having to sit through the voicemail. And they played the whole thing every single time. Hello, Carol. It's not that we don't love you, but we need our space.
Yeah, right the funny thing is I kept saying, why didn't she ask them to just change the message? Because I got it. Like all they did, just say, hello, Carol, this is a recording. Yeah. That was funny though. They obviously did that on purpose. That she'd sit there and go,
yeah, she just sit there.
That was the other thing that was also I think part of their plan. They left her alone for about 60 days in ice. Like they all left because they were afraid of her after she tried to harm what's her name? I forget the woman's name. Zosha, yeah. Zosha with a Z. So they left her, but I think that was also part of their plan to try to bring her to realize that because she was so lonely. And then she came back, and then they were trying to win her over. So I think they're not as malevolent or benevolent, I should say, than they appear to be. They clearly have.
I mean, they're not malevolent, but they're not benevolent.
I think there's more. I think there's more. I think the goat scene was very telling, and it was meant to be.
Yeah.
And the fact that the way they explain, even though she said, "I don't want to be turned," and that's the one thing. That's the one thing they're not respecting or not, saying whatever you want, because the way they put it is, if you saw a drowning man, you would automatically throw them a life.
That's what it looks like to them.
That's what they look like.
But to Carol, it's her time in conversion camp when she was a teenage lesbian, and her parents sent her conversion camp. It's that all over again, being forced to do something against your will.
Right. It's clearly, even from our standpoint, we could see how that's not really the same thing. Yeah. It's like you don't have a conversation with the drowning man to decide whether he wants to drown or not.
No matter how much love and how good they say it feels, I personally just would not want to be part of a hive mind. Most of you people irritate the fuck out of me. I don't want to be in your brain.
Well, I mean, they're clearly just become.
And they all share memories now. The whole hive mind shares everything. Yeah. So anyone if there's an airplane pilot and now now you have all his skills, you can fly an airplane.
Yeah, Zosha was flying the helicopter. Well, that was one of the funnier things when they fly her out to meet one of the other guys that in I think it was in Spain where they met. Of course, she's the only person on this big plane, and who's flying the plane? But did you notice what the girl's wearing? She's wearing a TGI Fridays waitress uniform with the suspenders and everything. And apparently,
Carol made a comment about it. And so then the next time she,
Carol's like, "Yeah, can I not?" She's like, "But Carol, but the actress actually worked at TGI Fridays."
Oh, did she really?
And she's like, I used to work there. Like she's like and everything, and she's like, yeah. So they gave her what they sent her. They sent her a pair of suspenders with all the stuff on it, the flare.
Yeah,
that was pretty funny.
So, yeah. Anyway, it's like I said before, it's compelling. It makes you think. Every episode makes you think. You enjoy watching Carol go through her interactions, realizing what's happened. The first seasons, it's horror. It's almost a horror show. And then it kind of comic relief, I guess, but you just watching Carol piece it out and think it through and going, figuring out what is going on and how do I stop it? Do I want? And she goes to a part where she's like, do I want to stop it? Maybe not. Then she thinks they're not going to hurt her.
Yeah.
And then finally she's like, no, you know what? This is it.
Well, that's like the guy that feels like he's doing the whole James Bond thing in his head and taking advantage of him. That he thinks this is great because he gets whatever he wants. He can sleep with whoever he wants. He has everything. It's like, but I'm sure they're going to try to figure out a way to turn him too. Now, he probably doesn't have any egg frozen. But it's, of course, they're just a waiting game. They'll eventually, die out on their own eventually, but
they'll die out on their own. Yeah. And then Carol would be kind of fucked because she's still relying, like, she tells them to stock the supermarket for her and they do. So that would be hard to live alone on planet Earth,
Oh no, I'm not saying the whole situation is not desirable.
Yeah, no. Ever since the Borg hive communities have lost all their appeal, you can say that again, Jeff.
I don't really feel it. Yeah, I don't. Could you imagine? So it's clearly, though, they make it like these people are still. I don't think they are who they were. In other words, I don't think everybody's consciousness gets mixed together, but I don't think it's really their consciousness. I think it's just their straight.
Your individuality is completely suppressed.
Yeah, it's gone. Or gone. And it's just you have the knowledge of everybody. Because she asked if she was a writer and she wrote those terrible, like all the old bodice rippers type books. She's like, oh, we love your books. Well, what do you love about them? We just love them. He's like, well, do you love Shakespeare? Yeah, they love Shakespeare equal. She's like, you love Shakespeare as much as my books? Like, she knows she writes crap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then she's like, well, what about my books? Well, everything. Well, what about, how about the story? Is it the story? Is it this? They couldn't come up with anything, even though they
couldn't come up with anything
that they say like this rather than this. Everything was just like Manila, just plain, just everything. So again, we keep harping on it, and I know we spend a lot of time on this show as opposed to the other ones, but I really do like this show. It's obviously got a season 2 already in the works. I would think that this one should come out. I'm hoping that this isn't another like, oh, you got to wait a year and a half. Apple's pretty good about punching stuff out.
Yeah, they're better.
This is an expensive show to make. There's really not a lot of special effects or anything in it. It's mostly an empty community, little cul-de-sac.
A lot of empty areas, yeah.
So imagine cost per episode isn't as expensive as some of the other ones that are coming out. I know they're coming out with another season of. Actually, Monarch I think there's the second
season. Monarch
starts in February. Now, that's the Godzilla based.
And there's something else. Oh, I know what it is. The Game of Thrones spinoff. Seven Kingdoms starts in January, starting soon.
That's HBO.
That's right? HBO, yeah.
Yeah, another one, and I know there's another season for Silo.
Yeah, Silo's coming. I'm waiting for
and other shows on Apple. Apple has some great shows. Of course, they're going to do another season of Ted Lasso. I hope it's as good as the other 3.
I don't know why, because I thought it ended on a good note, but okay.
Yeah, sure. I'm surprised that they went to the money well on that one. I really thought they should. But another great show that's kind of along the same lines as Ted Lasso, or at least it's a feel good show, is Shrinking. Have you watched
Shrinking? Got another season. It's coming back, yeah.
Again, but it's an excellent show. It's about psychiatrists, and it's got
Harrison Ford.
It's got Harrison Ford in it. Yeah, good stuff. Really good show. So Apple's doing good with their stuff. There's a couple other good shows on there. I won't go into it, but a couple other good dramas that are on there that are worth. What is it? It's pretty cheap, $10 or $12. No,
Apple's worth it. Jeff, you're absolutely right. For All Mankind is coming.
For All Mankind, that's right. And they're supposed to come out with Star City. Should be coming out. I'm not sure what. I'm pretty sure Mike and Denise are working on that one.
I think they are too. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know when that's going to come out, but Star City is, if you don't know, is For All Mankind from the Russians' point of view.
Yeah, Star City is the Russians.
I bet you that'll be pretty good. So, well, that brings us to the top of the hour.
Yeah, let me see. What's Roy doing? Roy is doing the Gil. He had put off the Gil Gerard show, so he will be doing the Gil Gerard tribute episode on Sunday, the 11th. Phil will be with Bill tomorrow at noon, and of course, he will be talking about both Venezuela and the recent shooting in Minneapolis. And then he's got his usual thing for Thursday, the Captain Phil's Planet. And he's got Friday Night Freeform. This Friday Night Freeform is partially preempted this week for some Stony Brook sports. He didn't say which sports, but he'll be back in weeks to come. And Rizzo and I will be joining him in weeks to come.
Yeah, we had a good time last Friday? Yeah, last Friday.
Yeah, last Friday. Staying up
yeah,
late.
talking about
threw me
Christmas
off. Like, I went to bed at midnight.
Talking about Christmas presents of the past.
Yeah,
so
we were talking
it was
about
a good show. It was fun. It was a fun show. And we're gonna, eventually, Phil says we're gonna take over the radio station.
We're gonna take over. We're gonna pick the music. We're gonna pick
the
topic of conversation.
It's gonna be the late night, the Friday night freeform. So it's gonna be late, but tune in if you want to hear what we're gonna pick for music.
Take over, take over, take over, take over.
So that'll be fun.
Rizzo, do we have anything next week?
No, of course not. I haven't got that far ahead.
All right.
Any ideas from the peanut gallery? No. Small group tonight.
They always give us great ideas, and we never do them.
No, that's not true that we never take them. I've taken them on several occasions.
Sometimes we do take a few.
Yeah. But anyway, you guys can always message us if you have an idea that you're burning to do or hear us talk about.
But thanks for joining us for these ones. If you haven't seen, you probably saw Stranger Things because it's been going for a while. But if you haven't seen Plur1bus, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, highly recommend it. Hey, Bill's saying tomorrow's his birthday. Happy birthday, Bill.
Hey, happy birthday, Bill.
So what do you like, 85 or what?
No. Come on.
I'm kidding. I know he's not that old. I know he's
people like
I'm teasing. He knows I'm teasing. He'll say I feel that old. Probably. Because I know sometimes
Chris wants Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Why?
Because that's what Chris wants.
Okay. Okay. We'll put
Chris
that
gave
on the
us
list.
Chris gave us that really fun one that we did for Halloween. With the monsters. Monster Squad. That was fun.
We'll put it on the list as a maybe.
I want to do Cowboys and Aliens, but I never get my way.
I can do that. I just don't think we got an hour. I don't think we got an hour of Cowboys and Aliens.
No, we probably don't. But let's see what else is in the news.
That's the problem. So maybe we'll come up with some other kind of combination. So, and happy birthday to you, Jeff, coming up soon. Yeah, it's only birthday, you feel like. So, all right, on that note, before I dig myself into deeper holes, we'll say good night, live long and prosper, and may the force be with you always. Good night, folks.
Bye, guys.